Good evening, everybody. It's Fredrina with Trinity Professional Group. I know I took a little break last week, a little hiatus. I just needed a minute to regroup, you guys. Sometimes pumping out content, still being a full-time employee, a mom, just everything at one time was kind of like just weighing down on me, and I was like, okay, I need a little break. Y'all know I am a transparent business owner. I am trying to do my best, so trying to come up with strategies for myself, come up with strategies for potential clients, give you guys good content to keep you engaged and make sure that it's actually something that's beneficial to you, you know, like not making you waste your time where you're not getting anything out of what I'm saying. So all of those things, they take a lot of toll on you guys, but thank you so much for being patient. Of course, like I typically do when I take a break, I want to ease back into it, but I really want to speak on something that really resonated with me last week. I've always been in this mindset, but when it comes to my own businesses, when it comes to my own mindset and what I'm trying to create and the vision I'm trying to live out, it just makes so much more of an impact on me because of where I am right now and the fact that I had a chance to sit last week and realize where I am and what I'm doing. So I, of course, am a Christian. I am a Christian, full-blown Christian. I grew up in church, and my business is actually named after the Holy Trinity, Trinity Professional Group. So I am in the mind that God created us to create. We are created in his image. We are meant to go out and take dominion over the earth. We have power and authority. We're meant to tread on scorpions and all of these things that are in the Bible. Man is supposed to take dominion. Man is supposed to name and create, you know, and then God comes in with the supernatural aspect of it to make sure that there are no outside forces that are trying to get what he already gave us permission and dominion over. So when I'm in that mindset of like God created me to create, I find it to be an absolute honor that I get to work out Trinity Professional Group, that I get to work out my other business, Freddie's Right Way, which I actually need to ramp up on a bit more. I find it as an honor because I am truly living out who he called me to be. I'm truly living out what he called me to be. You know, on Sunday and then during my devotional time and my quiet time, I worship him. But throughout my normal daily life, I worship him as well, trying to live out my purpose, trying to live out the vision that he's given me, you know? And so I find that as an honor, you guys. So really in business, make sure you take it as an honor, like I do, I guess. I mean, I acknowledge the fact that everybody, you know, doesn't want to be a business owner. Everybody doesn't want to kind of create their own little, you know, wedge in the world. They're okay with going with certain things. And that's good too, because the Bible still says that you have to do everything as you're doing it towards the Lord. So even if you work for someone, that's still doing it towards the Lord. But for me, I find it an honor and it's my passion to work out my business. So I'm just so thankful for that. And with business, I love this quote by Andy Warhol. It says, being good in business is the most fascinating kind of art. Making money is art and working is art, and good business is the best art. That's by Andy Warhol. That's one of the first quotes I put in my book when I started Trinity Professional Group. It just really spoke to me because what I'm doing with infrastructure, I'm really creating a foundation for you to continue to grow. I'm your canvas. Like I give you the canvas and the easel and I tell you, go grab your brushes and go. Like that's what I do at Trinity Professional Group. And I really want people to understand that as you grow in business, it is your art form. You have your people who like your art. You have your people who speak your language or can understand your brushstrokes or can give meaning to the painting or, you know, what you put out in the world based on their ability to connect with you and your authenticity. And that is something that I really go over deeply with my small business coaching is your ability to create your own competitive advantage. Who are you? It is okay to be different. It's okay to have, you know, a sip and paint, but all of your art is probably goth, or you only have flowers for your paintings or whatever. Your people will connect with you because you're authentic and you're putting out that authentic energy. You're putting out that authenticity that was God-given, even because for us being creators, for us living out our art, for us living out our purpose, we have those people that are going to be along our way, that are going to help us facilitate that are going to fund that are going to patronize that, you know, as we put our art into the world. So really hone in on who you are, who God created you to be. That is the ability to create. And then now that you're in business, business is an art form. So now you're creating art through your business, which is awesome. So for this week, I really just, like I said, I typically like to kind of roll into it. I don't want to do anything too harsh, too topic oriented. But this week, I just, that's really where I am, is the fact that God created us to create. And you have to be in tune with yourself. Being in business is not for the weak. Business is more so a mindset. Business is rearranging everything we've been taught. We've been taught to sit still in school and do this, and this is the problem, and we wait to be told to do this, and we wait to be told to do that, and there's a time to do this, and there's a time to do that. But when you're in business, you set your own times as an entrepreneur. You get to, designate where you go. You get to designate what you do. You get to designate your own lunchtime. You're not on someone else's schedule. But with that freedom, I made a post about that. With that freedom, you need a firm foundation. You need to know exactly what your vision is, how you want to play it out, what your purpose is, how you're going to live it out, and who you may need to connect with. No matter where you are in business, you're going to need help from someone. And that's one of the main challenges I face with consulting is people are like, oh, I've been in my industry for 15 years. I've been selling houses since the market crash in 2008. And I've been, whatever. So overcoming that hurdle that, hey, just because you're in business doesn't mean you can't be doing it better. Like, just because you're in business doesn't mean you thought of every avenue to possibly either gain more clients or even to up your services, possibly create some type of packages, whatever. There's always some type of intuitive adage that can be given to any business owner. And that's what I love about consulting, is that you can be in the same industry. I also made a post about that. Y'all make sure you follow me on Facebook. Fredrina Reed, parentheses, Freddie, the Trinity Pro. I made a post about that because you have to remember that even though you are good, even though you have stayed through this turn or you have stayed through that tide, it does not mean you can't get better. People are like, oh, just because it's broke, it's not broke, so don't fix it. It may not be broke, but it can be more efficient. It may not be broke, but it can run better. It may not be broke, but you can still get more profit off of it, right? So there's always that chance to have somebody come in and kind of critique your art, or have your audience come in and be like, hey, I like your art, but have you ever considered using yellow instead of orange? Or have you ever considered putting, the items on this side of your website that are more bright and the pastels on the other side of your website, or whatever. Every business is kind of doing surveys now. Even on our phones for an app, they're doing surveys. So having that feedback is crucial, because even though it's your art, it's my art, somebody still got to buy it. Okay, and because they got to buy it, I need to make sure it's something they like and that it's something that speaks to them, my target market. Make sure that it's something that speaks to them in a way that makes them captivated and want to purchase it. It's not enough just to put my art out in the world and hope. There are strategies, there are ideas, there is marketing, there are PR, things that you have to get done, and make sure that you're not going to get sued for your product or your service. So there's so much that goes into business, and you need people around you who are going to help. I'm telling you, consulting gives me a chance to look at things from a totally different perspective. I always give the example of how Amazon, did not start out to become the #1 delivery service. Amazon started out to deliver books that were bought online. But now look, he's created a whole other niche where he's dominating. You know what I'm saying? But had you not been stretched, had your art not been critiqued, had Jeff Bezos never gotten the fact that, okay, my package was late again, my package was late again, my package was late again. Had he not gotten that feedback, he never would have stepped out and created that trucking system. He never would have put up the infrastructure to get those trucks, or whatever it was that, spawned him to decide to go into the trucking aspect and deliver his own products. So you need that feedback. You need people to come to you and say, hey, have you thought of this? Hey, have you thought of that? Of course, mine just comes with an invoice because I'm going to help you put it in place. But at the same time, you need those different people to kind of add to your art, because you need to speak to them as well. It's not, like I said, it's not just about you. You need to profit off of that art. You need to profit off of your purpose. And oftentimes that's why we have our purpose. So make sure that you're doing it in a way that's strategic, authentic, and also true to your target market and what they like and what will draw them to you and keep them as a loyal and return customer. Okay. All right, you guys, this is part 1. Of course, remember, you were created to create. God created you to create, and we have to go out and create, make our own art in the world. And I believe in you guys. Okay. Of course, my book, The Conscious Leader, is still available on my page. You can click the link to go to my Stripe page and purchase it. And I will see you all again on Thursday's second half of this video. Have a good night.